Great gameplay. Let's just talk about the raid.
Yeah,
the
this
Vault
shit's
of the Incarnates.
so good. And good in a way that's not like, hey, this is normal good. This is, yeah, it's like Sepulchre, but a bit better. It's like the philosophical changes in how they design things. Maybe it's like their lead encounter designer, Matt Villers, like maybe had like said it change things up in like direction or something. But it has been really good. It's really good. There's like, we've killed 4 bosses. We're fighting like a 5th, and I haven't even looked at the other bosses because we're going in blind for maximum. What the fuck is this experience?
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it has been really, really fun. It's like all of the frustrating parts of how raid organization happens and how the solution to problems is. And this is where it's like raids are designed as puzzles. They're designed a lot less as puzzles now. Maybe that'll change on Heroic.
They're designed like nice on-the-fly puzzles.
They're designed as on-the-fly problem solving, and also obviously you can prep and learn how to do so ahead of time and have ideas on how to like organize. But it's never like, oh, you didn't plan this out before you go in.
Alliance
You're
raid
dead.
style.
Yeah,
It's like
a
an
little bit more
Alliance
like that.
raid, an XIV, you know, within a few wipes, by just paying attention to what's actually going on in the room without weak auras.
Yeah.
They don't exist in that game. You know what's going on.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways for you to, as an individual player, to engage better and use your utility a whole lot. The one thing I've noticed is playing a druid in a couple of these fights has been a godsend. Like on Senarth. Oh, what's that? You've got a couple stacks of slow, just shift out. What's that? You've got downtime, get up the like ramp, pop bear, pop friends regen, heal up, reduce stuff on your healers, stampeding more up the hill. There's loads of moments where, because of how the arena's designed, because of how the general fight's designed, there's a lot of things you can individually do to make the fight smoother from your individual perspective, instead of just you do more damage and that's it. It's a really interesting step change in how raid design is felt, and I feel it immediately, and it really makes me like enjoy it way more. Compared to how a lot of people feel about old raids or like older raids, where it's just you press your damage buttons and then it's over. It feels way better now. It's like it is a full complete step change, and I haven't fully went through the interview that Scribe had with Matt on that, but I hope I hope they'll get into like some of the details there, because it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll talk about my e-penis later. Because I all I care about is logs. I mean, I actually care about other things, but yeah, feels pretty good to be playing Disc Priest for the first time in a raid ever. I've M+'d before, but first time ever in a raid, and to get blue and purple. Did I get purples?
Don't recall seeing any, but sure.
I think it was. Hang on. We are not going to our guild Discord.
No, we're not.
So you flip me away from the old...
That would be a bad move. Just open the main channel and suddenly we're banned on YouTube. Absolutely. Oh, dear.
The meme channel. I love the meme channel.
Yeah, it's just a wee bit.
I know that like definitely don't go there now. The size that like the company Twitter account would be if I just went full Elon mode and meme thiefed from that place.
Oh, millions of followers.
Oh, easily. Okay, where's raid chat? Hello, raid chat.
Yeah. You can check them, but I'm not showing them on stream. I refuse to do that. We're a very casual guild intentionally.
Do you have a horse in that race?
On some fights, yeah. On some fights, yeah, because it turns out when you don't play a class for many years and then you play it again in a raid, you're like, oh, I have a bit of learning to do.
I don't want to tell people that I'm getting perps when I am in fact not getting perps.
Not. Also, you're a healer, so healing parsers are kind of memes.
They are kind of memes.
Healer DPS parsers are also kind of memes too sometimes.
I think healer DPS parts are a fun place to sweat. Fuck it.
It's a fun place, but also Disc Priest is a bit weird there. But yeah,
it's more that like, you know, the challenge of seeing like how consistently hard can you go while still being a responsible, guardian of your mana bar. I mean, obviously the concentration of effective healing into specific times of need is the true test of healing. Yep. But overall, no, it felt good. I love Disc Priest. I absolutely adore how it plays. It is super fun. God, yeah, I thought it was great in all these fights. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in all these fights for like. I felt there's a lot of interesting damage profile coming through. A lot of interesting damage profile needed. Basically, there's a lot of self-expression I think is possible in the raids through the talent tree. Not something I didn't really super expect very much. I was like, that's pretty nice actually. Just did kind of everything pretty well, I think. Yeah. Obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing how it feels on Heroic, and I haven't been watching the Race to World first, but I'll probably watch a couple of like boss kills and see how like the progression works, especially later. I always like watching later boss progression. I hate watching splits. Watching splits makes me want to fucking die off.
Yeah, very boring.
Nice water. And
I think it's boring too.
And watching early Mythic is like, that fucking sucks. But like late progression is very good.
Yeah. So as the bosses are not that much to say. I think simple, fun, flame wall, satisfying overall. Overall works. I think Taros was a boss that I was really impressed with because I thought it was just. Wait, is it Taros that I'm talking about? No, it's the Primal Council.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Primal Council
confuse those two?
with just elements. The Primal Council with the way that all the elemental mechanics work, and like they're so clear.
They're
it's like,
clear.
Are you about to be hot? Stand in the cold. You got a lot of lightning.
All the way around, but yes.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of lightning. Drop it in the big stone thing.
Yes.
Has John just ran through 8 people, and we all have what we call lightning aids?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't write it to John.
Conductive mark.
Yeah,
it's like a thing where it's natural. It makes sense. You ground yourself to get rid of the electricity. You heat yourself up to get rid of the cold. The big thing that explodes blows up the pillars.
It's an early learning center toy.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
That's why it's satisfying.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I specifically learned with like FF raids launcher, especially doing like the. Yes, sure. Be quiet, please. So the other thing was like during the another dungeon and seeing how kind of hard that was. I was like, this is just spatial reasoning. This is logical reasoning. This is the parts of the brain that is play. But you know the way play to a kid is like climbing over stuff and solving puzzles. You put a jigsaw puzzle together, your brain's like happy. That's what good video game play is. It's solving puzzles. And I know I've said this for a long time. A lot of World of Warcraft's rating was historically designed around solving puzzles together as a group. And Heroic will be more like that, and Mythic will be more like that. But the part it was missing was individual players solving their own problems. And they've added a lot of that this time where you go, well, how do you early learning center some shit? Yeah. And then there's like even the way the conductive marks work where, okay, you have to go to the earthen pillars. You can't put the pillars wherever you want, so you have to do some dynamic routing. Mm-hmm. How do you get from here where you are with the lightning mark to the pillar through a group of players without getting any of them without spreading your disease? Easy. You either go around, which will take longer. Have you got the speed? Sure, go for it. Is your group good enough to see that you're coming and move out of the way? Or are you going to have someone, some specific monk perhaps, run on top of you and then start spreading it like crazy because they weren't paying attention? And there's all these things like as an example, as a druid, I see marks go out, I can stampeding roar, everyone gets them cleared faster. Yeah. I can dash if I need to get around someone, pretty handy. I can like stampeding roar and then go bear form if I need to run over the fire in order to get to the earthing pillars in like a more linear, more a more efficient manner without touching anyone. And there's loads of those like little small things that this design enables for you to sort things out yourself. You want a demonic circle over to them as a warlock? Sweet. You want a transcendence over as a monk? Yeah, you can do that as well. And there's just so many of those like little personal optimizations you can make because it's around movement, it's around individual movement and stuff. And you're like, this is all just good gameplay design.
Yep. So agreed on those. Taros, a little bit more boring. I think the whole, stacking up the pillars, that's like a good little team thing. I like having a Parsefiend boss. It's a cool looking boss.
It looks visually satisfying because you've got the circle for stacking and then you've got the 2 lines within. It just looks nice, and that makes your brain go, yay, nice.
Yeah.
I just made aesthetic things.
We have Senarth, the 10 out of 10.
That is such a 10 out of 10 boss concept.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I love the icy floor.
Slip and slide.
I suppose maybe they've just made some back-end changes there because you feel like if this happened in a previous expansion, it would be shit. But no, it feels great, and it's that thing of like loose group mechanics, as you've put there, massive personal responsibility in not fucking things up. I love situations of the group not going up the steps together, meaning that there are bars all over the place, and half of them are grayed out, and I'm screaming.
Yeah.
Times when I've just been focusing on healing, and I'm like, oh shit, I am very sticky now, and I cannot move. So I thought it was a great fight. Even just the little movement mechanics, even the way that like I stop moving, I like go to cast like Radiance, and my character drifts a bit, and it doesn't mean much, but it's cool.
Yeah, the way the movement mechanics work is they definitely put a lot of work into the back end to make it happen. Same with dragon riding, and it really feels, and it allows their designers to have so much more fun. Even the way like the little pull from her Gossamer Burst works, and you can like block against geometry, but you have to block against the correct geometry in case you get flung off sideways, which is a wee bit of movement jank, but it does work actually well. But all of the whole, like, the way the boss moves around the arena, it's this, like, big scale area. The sound effect when Senna spawns is amazing. The...
Khadgar.
Yeah.
Again, just coming in doing that, like, very good whisper. Can we have characters that whisper and not fully enunciate every word so there's actually tension?
Yeah, because that was really good going into there. Obviously, when you
imagine Khadgar just being all ground like, Champion! It is cold!
Champion, I sense a frost elemental in this room. Something. But yeah, there's nothing I want to say. Yeah, another example of the personal responsibility and the freedom that you can have from the utility. Because I never thought about this too much. I was a bit more focused on like what everyone can do with movement and what everyone can do with damage. But Pop in our guild always like basically like bounced off FF14 because no real way to have an outsized individual impact. But Pop loves like DK because of grips and stuff like that, and all of the things you can do to utility, AMZ, all those things go. You know, this is how I could personally impact, and they've really toned up the amount you can do that. Because an example there is Death's Advance. Look, we're over the moon in that fight because Death's Advance just, is that Gossamer Burst? Press the button, not my problem. I feel cool for being a DK. And then you've got that problem of being like stuck because you can't really move because you're just sitting casting, etc. You're stuck with the webs. The thing there is we don't know.
I was just playing badly.
We don't have a paladin, but we do have 2 monks. So that's a case where it's very easily you go, Tiger's Lust.
Oh yeah.
You ask Matt or John for a Tiger's Lust, you get it, you're free now. And that means that they could actually help in a way that it's not extra DPS. It's them going, I can help my healer out of a sticky situation.
It's so nice. I mean, having like a wife and husband tanking team.
Oh, it's unreasonable.
Who are like really good players. It is so fucking handy, especially when like Bob's playing a Death Knight, which means that she's probably out parsing all the healers on healing,
literally,
and I just get to think about raid healing because. Yeah. And maybe there's 1 or 2 times I maybe let 1 or 2 of them die. But, it's fine. It's my first raid. Healing, anyway. But no, it felt good. And we all felt like a team. And I think some of this is because we were all just having so much fun and we're all enjoying the expansion so much more. Yeah. But just a lot of the minutiae really just allowed us to play together, even though we were going in completely blind. At maximum, people had played Vault of Pineapples. Yeah. So then, Dathia ascended. So it's technically a bit sleepy and normal because we had this fun thing of Neria just being like, the platform.
Yeah.
Then it turns out there's no platform, but then it turns out there's the big bouncy ads. Mm-hmm. And I suppose a bit like how on Ner'zhul you could just kill your whole fucking team with that big bounce. It is just funny to see like, there's a gnome fucking team rocketing away.
Yeah.
Great. So
wild charge bits.
Yeah, we'll need to see the rest of the fight, and obviously we need to see all this in heroic. Yeah. But the point is, this is our initial first impressions, and they're really fucking good.
It's very fun.
And
very fun.
I know a lot of people are going to be like, it's not even raiding. You should be raiding with an eye to do cutting your edge. Well, look, for your normal, a lot of guilds, the way that they want to play the game is they want to do normal, chill out, have some fun, learn the fights, then do heroic, get curve, and they're not against the clock. They just like hanging out with their friends 2 nights a week, and that's the thing that they do. So it's really fucking important that group of people can jump into a WoW raid and feel really good. initially. And funny enough for us, we actually really enjoyed Sepulchre of the first ones, seemingly more than most people, but we really loved it.
Good.
This initially feels better to me. The WoW boss design, the WoW team's great.
This is way better.
Really fucking good.
The Incarnates designers have learned really good lessons about making things more fun. This has been more individually fun than any raid I think I've ever played. I had a lot of fun in Antorus because those were like good bosses, and maybe there's some of like the same things I liked here, but generally it's like this is just really good. Also, like the actual raid itself is really good visually. It is beautiful. Big. The boss arenas are really big, really nice, and really cool. They are very, like, they're kind of simple sometimes. And then you go to Senorth and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's multiple levels and we run up ramps and then we fight her at the top. This is actually sick. It felt really dynamic. It felt like we were in her lair as opposed to just in a boss room, in the same way I really like about a lot of these places.
And when you look at
really good.
When you look at things like, okay, Sanctum, bit of an L.
Yeah.
But, you know, Nathria, great.
Nathria's great.
Sepulchre, for me, better than Nathria.
Yeah.
Anduin is like such a brilliant fight. I love Anduin.
Fight, like,
this, so far, excellent. That team's on fire. And with this, as you kind of noted, it's like they've been humble about their own shortcomings and they've learned from those. Mm-hmm. And they've also looked at what's worked really well in other games in the market. Yeah. And, have not just grabbed things, but they've lifted things appropriately or taken, I wouldn't say they've taken appropriate inspiration.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like it's not a World of Warcraft raid. This feels like it's a World of Warcraft raid that stepped up its game a little bit. And I think people are a little bit worried about like this suddenly feeling different because of reasons, but that's not a worry at all. Yeah. It might feel different enough if like you're not used to doing things that are like pretty like personal responsibility wise on normal, but it is a lot more fun, that's for sure. And it's not like intense. It's just like move to the right place or stand in the right place or stop yourself being frozen. And it is really it's very clearly an intentional improvement as opposed to like an accidental, we had a couple good ideas. It's very much, they've sat down, they've went, what's the game plan team? And Villar's and the leadership team been able to sit there and go, well, here's the game plan. Here's the philosophy of how we're going to do these raids. Let's do them all like this. And they did. And it goes very, very, very hard. It goes exceedingly hard. It's very good. And yeah, Hristo Pavlov says, Dathea showed more character during her time than Ner'zhul, Kel'Thuzad, and Sylvanas and Sanctum combined. Yep. So all they needed to do was a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of, okay, so who's this character? It's Primalist. Okay, well, how's the relationship here? And for those who don't know, there's a little bit when you go into the Dathea's boss room, there's Dathea Stormlash, I believe her name is. Begs Razageth for more power because he's been loyal to the Primalists and stuff. And Razageth goes, yeah, sure. Infuse her with a load of storm power or whatever elemental stuff. And then it's too much power. She can't control it. And goes, Razageth says, this will kill you. Make sure you kill them first before it gets you. Mm-hmm. And that's like, holy shit. That is like the equivalent of an elemental suicide bomber. That is how intense is Dathea devoted to the Primalist cause that they're willing to go, I might die, but I'll kill you first. That'll further our goals. Our overlords will be freed and they'll be able to do their job. But also Razageth is really just doesn't care about them. Just fodder. You're going to die, but at least you'll get the job done. Good stuff. And that was so much characterization to the relationship that the non-dragon element of the Primalists actually have. Where Razageth doesn't give a shit about them. Razageth cares about the primal, cares about the elemental projects and setting things right. Doesn't care about the individuals. And that is really good. That was really good, and all it took was a couple lines to get all of that done. But clearly they had that idea set up. They were able to communicate it to the raid team for how holistically it was. It wasn't like the raid team were over in a corner going, we've developed the perfect raid enemies and bosses and then could you make these make sense? It's like it felt like a more holistic progress where they thought of it before. And like that is really good. That's very good overall. Hopefully Kurog has a nice introduction that explains a little bit more because he's kind of not been too much. And same with like Razageth's voiceover stuff. Hopefully that's there. I haven't seen it yet, but honestly I'm super impressed. I came out of that raid like absolutely beaming, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was utterly screwy because I'm barely in reality anymore.
I mean neither was I.
Reality soon, but everyone was happy, and again, We're cunts.
We are hateful bastards. I was going through, but like, what can I hate about this? And then they would like, nothing really too much. But fuck, damn it, my character, but yeah.
Yeah, like, we're not suddenly different people to the people who were very, not happy about things. Yeah. We are the same people, and we are just continuing to say what we think about these things. And, we were all beaming. Our friends were pretty much all beaming as well. Yeah. I thought that the boss mechanics enabled hilarious MMO moments.
Oh, it sure did. We were laughing like fuck.
Yeah. Oh, it's
whole
great.
Night,
you don't need weak ores because you just need to listen to John's microphone and what sort of scream or shouts happening. It's great. Just yeah. So she's free as fuck. Going dead as fuck.
Yeah.
Which means we got Kurog. 2 raid nights. I think we'll have it cleared. And then we'll be thinking about Heroic, getting some gear.
Yep.
The new looting system, just to do things quickly, feels good. Yeah. Me and Leon are extremely happy. I think Leon's in chat. Because we're the only 2 clothies. Fuck yeah. So,
Indeed.
You jabronis who have to fight for loot. But even then, that's an interesting thing of like, interesting from the perspective of thinking about a raid comp. And I guess the other thing, a raid comp is pretty much just melee.
Yeah, we've got 1 range DPS.
1 range DPS.
It's making me think I should maybe just grab an stick and go boomy just to make it a bit more reasonable.
Only if you enjoy it. I don't think it's really holding us back.
Yeah.
Hey, it makes my barrier potentially more effective if I don't miss the group with it.
But it also makes all of the lightning aids substantially harder to deal with overall.
That makes the raid more fun.
Sure does.